F4 U.S. Championship today, the 2017 season recap. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to F4 U.S. Championship today. I'm Rick Benjamin. The 2017 season is complete. In the next half hour, we'll recap the excitement of the 2017 season. We've crowned a new champion who will be taking the next step in his open-wheel racing career come 2018. We're also putting the new F3 Americas Series in the spotlight. Brand new race car seeing the light of day for the first time here at the SEMA show in Las Vegas in 2017.
The biggest difference, obviously, is the horsepower. So the F4 car actually starts off as a Type R turbo, all right, but we take the turbo off, and it's a naturally aspirated 160 horsepower race car. And then the F3 car uses the same engine, but we leave the turbo on, and we're shooting in that range of about 270 horsepower for the F3 car. The same concept. I mean, it's cost containment, safety, fun, you know, reliability. It's the same concept from F4. And it's all about, you know, the power of dreams, basically. And we can take a 4-year-old, we have a go-kart for a 4-year-old, Honda Power go-kart, and they can progress up through their karting ladder. And then when they're in the 13, 14 range, they can get into the F4 car, and they see that vision of getting to the pinnacle side of racing. And of course, we want them to stay within the brand and, you know, be champions and ambassadors of the brand. So yeah, it's a great place to start. And it's affordable. It's got to be affordable, and it's got to be fun. I mean, if it's not fun and affordable, you know, this doesn't work for everybody.
So the new F3 Americas Series, which is powered by Honda, will run along with F4 all season next year, and the series will debut at VIR in April. Meantime, we're here to recap the 2017 F4 U.S. Championship season. An epic year, great competition, huge fields of cars, and a very worthy champion crown. But the season started at Homestead-Miami Speedway back in the spring with a different face at the top of the leaderboard.
An F4 race weekend consists of 3 30-minute events. The opening weekend this year at Homestead-Miami Speedway bringing new hopes and plenty of dreams for F4 drivers. For returning veterans, it was a chance to shine. Many of those drivers laser-focused and very optimistic.
The series looks awesome this year. We're going to Cota with WEC. Mosport, I've never been there, so I've heard that's a pretty gnarly track, but couldn't be happier to be back with Momentum. We've been working really hard all year, or the off-season, so I think it's going to be a good year.
Bad luck, though, would plague Skyler and his Momentum Motorsports team all weekend, the team racking up 0 championship points. Another returnee, though, Kyle Kirkwood from Jupiter, Florida, finished 3rd in the 2016 final standings. He had a very positive outlook on the new season and his Cape Motorsports team's prospects.
Definitely some unfinished business to try and come back and win the championship in the second year. And I imagine this year coming around, I think in the beginning of the season, we're going to be as stronger than we were last year.
But his 2017 opener didn't go as planned either, Kirkwood scoring only 5 championship points. The fresh new faces of F4 had the same optimism, but with plenty to prove. The record field of 30 Honda-powered F4 machines kicked off the new year under Chamber of Commerce weather. The standout of the field, Timo Reger from Houston, Texas. He wheeled his JDX racing machine to 2 wins and a second to take the points lead after weekend number 1.
Thank you for JDX Racing for a good car, great car, all weekend. 3 podiums, 2 wins. It's been a good week and it's a good start of the season.
French-Canadian returnee Raphael Forcier drove his Indy Motorsports Group Honda to a victory and a 3rd place finish. He was 2nd after the first weekend.
I could only get a couple podiums last year. This is 2nd year of the season, 1st place. Really happy. The team did a really great job.
Race number 2 at Homestead saw Parker Locke get airborne in his J. Howard team Honda. This is a testimony to the safety of these on-road North America-built cars.
Yeah, I'm fine. My knees are a little sore, but I'm good. I was going in to turn 8, and the person in front of me slammed on the brakes, and I just wasn't expecting it. I went over its tire and flipped over a few times.
Indianapolis Motor Speedway was the next stop on this year's tour. To race at the iconic Speedway is something that's on every open-wheel driver's bucket list. The young racers in F4 all eager to put their names in the record books. Points leader Timo Reger, though, struggled in race 1 at Indy, finishing 23rd. He would come back and salvage his weekend, running 2nd and 4th in Sunday's 2 races to hang on to the points lead. Newcomer Braden Eves from Ohio drove his number 41 J. Howard team Honda to 2 podiums and a 4th. The young driver showing plenty of patience and lots of skill to take 5th in points after his first outing with the series. Global Racing Group saw both of its drivers run second and third in the last race of the weekend. Jacob Loomis from Texas and Denmark's Benjamin Peterson were both elated, giving their team quite a boost of confidence. But no one all weekend had anything for the returnee, Kyle Kirkwood. Kirkwood swept all 3 races at the Speedway, catapulting himself to second in the standings, trailing Rager by only 14 markers.
We couldn't ask for a better weekend, really, because we got out front and we just checked out each time. We're ecstatic with how we've done this weekend, and we're just trying to regain those points that we lost in Homestead.
The F4 U.S. Championship season is made up of 6 racing weekends, 18 rounds in all, and a bonus weekend at Circuit of the Americas with 2 additional races. When we come back, we'll take you back into the middle of the summer of 2017.
F4 U.S. Championship today is being brought to you by Honda. The F4 United States Championship is powered by Honda and presented by Honda Performance Development. And by SCCA Pro Racing. The F4 United States Championship is accessible, developmental, safe, and fun. For more information, visit F4USChampionship.com. Find out how you can get behind the wheel.
Welcome to Canada, everyone, or bienvenue au Canada.
The F4 U.S. Championship, powered by Honda, made its way north of the border for the first time ever this past year to the picturesque Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. French-Canadian Raphael Forcier fared well in race 1, running second. In the final 2 races, though, he struggled in his Indy Motorsports Group Honda. He still maintained third in the standings after the weekend. Floridian Kyle Kirkwood had a great weekend in his number 8 Cape Motorsports Honda. He tackled the technical Canadian track with precision, setting fast times all weekend. Kirkwood swept the weekend, running his win streak to 6. He took over the points lead after the action.
Overall, good weekend. I mean, can't ask for anything better than to lead all of them. So thank you to the Cape guys. Thank you to all you guys in the series for putting on a great event.
Former points leader Timo Rager had good runs in his JDX Racing 19 car, finishing 5th, 4th, and 6th. That ended his own personal streak of making the podium at least once every race weekend. On the other hand, fellow Texan Jacob Loomis kept his podium streak alive with a pair of thirds. The Global Racing Group driver maintained his 4th spot in the championship standings.
We're starting to get more used to the car, I think, and we're feeling pretty good, racing hard. Just keep it going.
Newcomer Dakota Dickerson, though, stunned the field, putting his 85 car from Kiwi Motorsport on pole in his first ever F4 event. With a 4th and 2 second-place finishes, the Californian Series debut was quite a success. Argentinian and Series veteran Baltazar Leguizamon in the 45 car ran 3rd in the weekend finale. The Motorola Honda pilot was overjoyed when the checkers came out.
Tough weekend for me. We started with finding a very good setup that now we had it in the last race. So yeah, we worked very hard with the team. We scaled like a lot of positions, and now the last race was very good for me, starting P5 and finishing P3. Going forward with the team, we worked very well, and we need to keep working as we are doing for the next one.
Next up was Mid-Ohio. Weather was again a factor. The question, whether to run rain tires or not, at least in the opener. On the start of race 1, Jordan Sherritt lost control of his Crosslink Honda, the 37 car, making contact with Brandon Leach in the 86. The South African worked his way to the front, though, in the crash-filled race to claim 2nd overall, his first podium this year. Leach staged an even better recovery to claim his first ever F4 victory. The Kiwi Motorsport driver scored the most points at Mid-Ohio despite spinning in race 2. He never finished off the podium.
As soon as it started to dry, just really maximising the tyre in the places you can and pushing on, and eventually coming back with the win, which was fantastic for the team. And massive thanks to the sponsors, ITM, backed me since the start, and I'm very fortunate to have those guys on board.
Raphael Forcier only had 1 podium finish on the weekend, but consistency moved him to 2nd overall in the championship. Skylar Robinson picked up a win in race number 2 in his Momentum Motorsports Honda, the 2 car. His last win had come a year ago at the same track.
It's been a tough year, so I really don't know what to say about this one. I'm stoked for sure.
Another fresh face made the podium at Mid-Ohio. Justin Sergany in the 39 car put his Global Racing Group Honda into 3rd in the weekend's final event. Points leader Kyle Kirkwood's streak of consecutive victories, though, came to an end. He did win the final race of the weekend, his 7th victory overall in 2017, and Kirkwood grew his points lead by 14 more markers over Raphael Forcier.
Plenty more to come on this edition of F4 U.S. Championship today, our 2017 season in review. The series moving on to Virginia and down to Texas for the first of 2 visits. All the highlights when we come back.
Welcome back. The F4 U.S. Championship, powered by Honda, headed to Virginia International Raceway in late August. 31 cars on the grid on this 3.25-mile circuit. In the first race of the weekend, points leader and race leader Kyle Kirkwood had problems at turn 17.
I went into turn 17. There's a little bit of a crest of the hill. I was driving as if the tires were warm. It was first lap, so the tires were cold. Went over that hill, tried to get back to power. Car went sideways. I caught the car, but then only thing in front of me was grass, so I had to go off there and go way off and then bring it back onto the track.
Kirkwood would rally, though, taking his 8 car, the Cape Motorsports Honda, to 8th at the checkered flag. In round 2, he finished 2nd. In the weekend's finale, he picked up a victory, his 8th of the season, extending his championship lead over Rafael Forcier. Kiwi Motorsport driver Brandon Leach took the lead in the opener. He too, though, had problems at turn 17, and moments later, Skylar Robinson got into trouble in the same spot with his Momentum Motorsports Honda. Robinson had trouble while he was leading.
Made a small mistake, and obviously those are pretty tough pill to swallow when you've got the lead and it's kind of yours to lose, so a little frustrated about that.
Skylar finished 6th. In fact, he picked up a 6th in race 2 as well. His best run in race 3 on the weekend, where Robinson ran 2nd. The driver who outlasted them all, though, Baltazar Leguizamon in his number 45 Motorola Honda. The Argentinian plenty excited to finally get his first F4 victory after starting on pole and dropping back to 6th.
We had a car to go up at the front, so I stay mentally prepare every lap and keep very consistent. And we had a big margin. The last laps I took it easy because we were first very good. So yeah, it was very, very hard start of the race, but then was perfect how we finished it.
Driver of the weekend, though, Jordan Sherritt. He scored the most points of any contender, piloting his Crosslink Honda to 2nd in race 1, 3rd in race 3. Race 2 saw Sherritt pick up the ultimate prize, the young South African picking up his first career victory in Formula 4.
We got a whole big bag of points, which is helping us in the championship. I think we're 4th now, and about 43 points behind Forcier. So hopefully in the 2 rounds of Cota we can get that back and maybe finish 2nd in the championship, because there might be a bit of a push to get to Kirkwood because he's so far ahead. But yeah, pretty good weekend. I'm pretty happy with the performance of our team, and thanks to the guys, thanks to everybody.
Up next for the F4 U.S. Championship powered by Honda, Circuit of the Americas in Austin, Texas with the World Endurance Championship. All eyes on Kyle Kirkwood from Jupiter, Florida. Mathematically, the Cape Motorsports pilot could clinch the title with 5 rounds to go in the 2017 season. Most drivers would run conservatively, but not this young man. He battled hard in the top 3 the entire way. His 2nd place finish clinched the 2017 title.
It's really surreal because we just got out of the car, but I'm sure it's going to settle in when we go into the next races, and we won't even have to try because we know we already have that championship.
Pole sitter Benjamin Peterson grabbed his first career F4 win for Global Racing Group in race 1. He backed that up with another victory in race 2.
I wasn't really expecting this going into the weekend. I learned a lot of new tips with the driving style that I kind of applied, and obviously it's paying off, which is really rewarding to see. And yeah, now I'm just hoping for the 3rd win to keep it a clean sheet here this weekend, but we'll see what happens.
Ohio native Braden Eves would deny Peterson the sweep at Cota. Eves wheeled his J. Howard Team Honda to the win in race number 3, his first career F4 victory in 6 tries. Plenty more to come on this very special edition of F4 U.S. Championship today. We'll talk to our top 3 in the final standings, and we'll introduce you to our newest champion in the F4 United States Championship powered by Honda. We'll be back.
F4 U.S. Championship today has been brought to you by Honda. The F4 U.S. Championship is powered by Honda and presented by Honda Performance Development. By SCCA Pro Racing, bridging the gap from karts to cars has never been easier. Make the affordable transition to Formula 4. Find out more at F4USChampionship.com. And by Speedcom Communications, for more than 20 years, the world leader in motorsports radio and communication systems. Find out more at SpeedcomRacing.com.
Welcome back to F4 U.S. Championship today, our season in review for 2017. Our new champion is Kyle Kirkwood. He clinched the title at Circuit of the Americas in September on World Endurance Championship weekend, a 3-race weekend. But there was one more race weekend left, a doubleheader on Formula One weekend. The huge crowds for the United States Grand Prix saw quite a show from the F4 U.S. Championship stars. Benjamin Peterson grabbing another victory in race 1 of the 2-race weekend. In the second half of the doubleheader, no big surprise. Kyle Kirkwood completing his championship season with his 10th career win. More importantly, it showed the racing world the value of the F4 U.S. Championship model.
Putting these kids in front of the Formula One crowd to see the stage that could be, I think that was probably the best thing that could have happened to these guys. It was a great season, very competitive, but when you show them what it is to get to the very top of the game, I really felt that motivated them to put on fantastic racing, and that's what we saw today.
Following the season finale, the teams had a chance to relax and reflect on their year at the championship banquet held at the Omni in Austin. Guests included last year's champion Cameron Doss, who spent 2017 in the British F3 Series. The Cameron Doss Fast Lap Award, presented by ProSim, along with the $2,000 check, went to champion Kirkwood, as did the Honda Supporter Award. The Catherine Crawford Most Improved Driver Award went to rookie Jordan Sherritt of South Africa, who came on strong at the end of the season to finish 5th in the championship. Joining Kirkwood on the championship podium were runner-up Raphael Forcier from Montreal and Dakota Dickerson. Dickerson and his Kiwi Motorsport team raced just a partial season, but they squeaked into 3rd in the year's final event.
Can't be more proud of the whole team working together and the drivers. Like for most of the season we had one driver, and to get 2 drivers and be up there in the championship 3rd overall is just like, it's just amazing. We just had such a great season, just love our guys and the team, and can't wait to do it again.
Well, the dust has settled, the sweat's dried off, everybody's had a chance to relax. We're at the season-ending banquet with 3-time Cota winner, Benjamin Peterson, and you really came on strong here towards the end of the season. What was it about this track that suited your driving style?
I think it actually traces back to 2 years ago when I was here just as a fan with F1. Because when you're here as a fan with F1, you're like, I want to be like an F1 driver here. In my free time, I really just spent time on the simulator at this track, and because for me it was just a fun track to drive on. So I think that really translated very nicely over to these 2 race weekends that we've had here, and that kind of correlates to my success. And this being a really special place for me, and then to perform well was just awesome.
And Benjamin, of course, getting 3 wins in front of the World Endurance Championship, and then again in front of the F1 crowd. Another guy who really came on strong when he was, at the track racing in the F4 U.S. Championship, Dakota Dickerson, who performed so well, he came in 3rd in points, running like half the season.
Yeah, it was a great effort for us to do 11 of the 20 races, and like you said, we were just really consistent this year. We had 10 of the 11 races in the top 5, and Ben did an awesome job putting pressure on us here at Cota, but just super thankful for the opportunity that the F4 United States Championship has given me. The Kiwi Motorsport guys have been awesome this year, and really looking forward to hopefully running the F3 Americas Series next year.
In those all-important season-ending points, behind the top 3 of Kirkwood, Forcier, and Dickerson were Peterson, Sherritt, Braden Eves, and Timo Reger. The top 7 all receiving FIA Super License points necessary for a driver to one day compete in F1. We caught up with champion Kirkwood, asking him to reflect on his amazing season.
It's been an amazing season, absolutely amazing season. It's probably been the best season of my career. Our deficit in Homestead pushed us to strive for better. And once we showed up in Indy, I knew I had a good mindset, and we literally can't lose right now. We have to go forward, and that's exactly what we did. We were able to check out in all 3 races, and from there on, we got the ball rolling. We knew we could win races, and we just kept it going. Dominic and Nicholas Cape are the 2 head guys, and they are the ones that are making the decisions, what's going on the car, and they are the ones that are providing the expertise towards it. They understood the car very, very well. We did, I think, 2 tests with them, and from that point forward, I knew that that's the team I needed to be with, because they were spot on with all the setup, and everyone works as a team there. It shows commitment. And if you have commitment from the whole team, it builds you up, and it builds you up as a driver and builds up your confidence. For me right now, my options are still open. And I think the F3 Americas is a really good option. I've always been in a Honda program ever since I was little in the shifter karts. I moved up into 1600, F4, and now hopefully F3. But we'll see what happens in the next couple months. Right now, I'm working really hard to try and figure out for next year because it's not like our season's over. I mean, right now is where the hard work starts, and I have to figure out what I'm going to do for next year.
Well, that's all the time we have for this edition of F4 U.S. Championship Today. Next year gets started in the month of April. The F4 Championship will kick off at Virginia International Raceway. F3 Americas will start there as well. We'll be there for the coverage. For now, I'm Rick Benjamin. We congratulate our 2017 champion, Kyle Kirkwood. Next year's champion earns a minimum $100,000 scholarship to progress to F3. We'll see you next spring with another season of F4 U.S. Championship Today.